Offshore central bank money in the C6 swap network. The latest major institutional innovation in the offshore dollar realm occurred at the level of central bank IOU via the establishment of permanent central bank liquidity swap lines between the Federal Reserve and other non-US central banks. From a money view perspective, these swap lines put the non-US central banks in the position to autonomously and upon their own discretion issue USD-denominated CB deposits on their balance sheet, effectively offshore. In doing so, the monetary system as a self-referential network of expanding yet unstable debt claim disseminated further, this time at the top of the hierarchy of money. The origin of this innovation lie in the 2007-2009 financial crisis. In 2007, at the outset of the system-wide run on shadow banking, the Fed installed temporary limited emergency swap lines with the European Central Bank's ECB and the Swiss National Bank SNB. As the crisis unfolded further, the Fed extended these lending agreements to a total of 14 bilateral swap lines with even larger volume. Those arrangements terminated in February 2010 but were continued 3 months later in a modified form between the Federal Reserve and 5 major central banks of closely allied countries to the US, notably ECB, SNB, Bank of England, the Bank of Japan, and the Bank of Canada. In October 2013, these swap lines were announced to be permanent and unlimited. The 6 Swiss C6 swap lines are now considered the key feature of the global financial safety net that emerged after crisis. Figure 21 sketches how the 2007-2009 financial crisis affected the setup of the offshore dollar realm. The C6 swap lines represent an additional layer in the hierarchy of offshore USDs as they allow non-US central banks to effectively issue USD-denominated public credit money. At the same time, as discussed in Murao, the Federal Reserve intervention in the first year of the crisis demonetized ABCPs, both issued onshore and offshore, and made them lose their status as shadow money. So this is figure 21, rise of C6 swap lines in the offshore dollar realm. The key difference is there is a first row in the middle column where it said non-US central banks IOU having a euro-dollar central bank deposits. So this is straight on par with Federal Reserve IOU, Fed deposit and Fed currency. The 2007-2009 financial crisis, from a monetary perspective, may be thought of as a system-wide run on the USD-denominated private credit money system that had been piling up from the 1950s. In times of financial expansion, it had been profitable for profit-driven financial companies to extend the private credit money supply. The crisis, in turn, represents the Minsky moment at which the expansion reverted itself as the credit money issuers had overpromised and the belief in a further expansion of the system stalled. Using the heuristic of the offshore dollar table, the run can be represented as the various holders of deposit substitutes trying to shift their credit money balance back to the USD denominated onshore bank deposit, which were protected by deposit insurance and whose issuing institution had liquidity backstop via the Fed discount window. This put substantial strain on the guarantee for par conversion within various layers of the hierarchy of money. The run had both an onshore and an offshore dimension. From the onshore perspective, the first wave of the crisis began in August 2007 with the default of the Californian financial firm Countrywide Securities, which triggered a run on ABCPs and three-party repo. The run could be tamed by public authorities with conventional measures but led to a drying out of the ABCP market. The second and third wave took place with the near failure and takeover of Bear Stearns in March 2008 and the bankruptcy of Lehman Brothers in September 2008. The runs on overnight repos and MMF shares could only be tamed by setting up emergency facilities and guarantees by the Fed and the US Treasury, measures which had been unprecedented so far and amounted to establishing ad hoc public backstop for overnight repo, and MMF shares functionally similar to those for bank deposit. From the offshore perspective, the euro-dollar market and the FX swap market face severe strains as holders of USD-denominated offshore credit money sought to convert it onshore. This became evident in the LIBOR-OI spread, i.e. differences between the interest charge on offshore and onshore USD deposit, which prior to the crisis had been virtually non-existent. Figure 22, taken from Merlin, highlights this trend in relation to the three waves of the crisis. So this one is figure 22, the LIBOR-OI spread in 2007-2009 financial crisis. The red one is LIBOR-OI spread for 1 month, and the black one is for the 3 months maturity. To reach to this offshore dimension of the run, the Fed created swap lines with those central banks in whose monetary jurisdiction offshore dollar creation had been taking place. The goal was to channel emergency USD liquidity to non-US banks that did not have access to the Fed discount window. Effectively, the Fed turned the non-US central banks into its own branches that were able to create USD public credit money ex nihilo and pass it on to the banks and shadow banks in their monetary jurisdiction that had created offshore dollars and were in dire need for emergency liquidity assistance. Through this action, the Fed became effectively the world lender of last resort. Figure 22, taken from MEW and compiled on the basis of Federal Reserve data, present an overview of the lending activities of the emergency swap lines during the 2007-2009 financial crisis, indicating a massive peak in September 2008 when Lehman Brothers collapsed. At this time, the main drawings were from the ECB with 314 billion USD, the BOJ with 128 billion USD, and BOE with 95 billion USD. Okay, this is figure 23, swap line outstanding in billion of US dollar. As you can see, this is amount outstanding at the Fed swap facility 2007-2012, and it reached a very high peak on 2008 September, I think, around almost 600 billion US dollar. Formally, the swap lines are reciprocal. This implies that not only the ECB is able to create USD upon its discretion, but also the Fed could create Euro if deemed necessary. Effectively, however, the swap lines are used to provide USD to non-US central banks. In this, the swap lines were not a novel instrument at all. The Fed had been using swap lines since 1961 to manage balance of payment needs in the context of the Bretton Woods system. The emergency swap line set up in 2007 follow up on this previous system, but in a fundamentally different way. The official rhetoric is that instead of financing balance of payment deficits, they are a means to ensure global financial stability via financing global lender of last resort operation in US dollar. From a money view perspective, these central bank swap lines imply the creation of public credit money on the respective central bank's balance sheet. A transaction that in some respect can be thought of in functional analogy to an FX swap. The central bank swaps involve two transactions. Today, on the spot, and the non-US central bank, e.g. the ECB, sells a specific amount of its currency, e.g. the euro, at the prevailing market exchange rate to the Fed in exchange for US dollar. Both central banks agree to reverse the transaction at a future point in time at the same exchange rate plus an interest rate to the Fed. The maturities for those USD liquidity swap range between overnight to 3 months. Federal Reserve Board 2017. Figure 24 depicts the creation of central bank swap as a swap of IOUs to explain why they correspond to a form of offshore public credit money creation, bearing in mind that the transaction eventuates upon the initiative of the foreign central banks. So, figure 24, central bank swap as a public credit money creation offshore. As you can see in the left side, Federal Reserve, they have the USD central bank deposit as an asset, and a Euro Central Bank deposit as a longer term IOU. While the ECB, they have Euro Central Bank deposit as an asset and USD Central Bank deposit as an liability, as a short-term IOU. With the transformation of the ad hoc created emergency swap lines to the permanent network of C6 swap lines, the hierarchical settings of central banks and the unit of account they are issuing their credit money in has been further formalized. With the Fed at the top of the international hierarchy, at the layer below the C6 swap lines, other bilateral swaps are located as well as regional pooling institutions and IMF facilities, followed by various other domestically created forms of credit money. Notably, the ECB, the BOG, and the SNB have also established emergency swap lines with more peripheral monetary jurisdiction to provide emergency liquidity in their respective units of account. This can be seen in analogy to development in Asia, where an extensive network of swap has emerged in the 2000s with the Chiang Mai Initiative, which has further been developed through swap lines set up by the People's Bank of China, PBOC. Figure 25 portrays the C6 swap lines in greater detail. Accordingly, the Federal Reserve, situated in the apex of the system, holds unlimited lines for credit money creation with the BOE, the ECB, the SNB, the BOG, and the BOC. Okay, this is figure 25, structure of the hierarchical C6 swap network. So you can see that the Fed has swap lines among BOE, ECB, SNB, BOG, and BOC. And they also have swap lines between the Fed and among each other. Meanwhile, the other central bank has, I think it's swap lines as well, like PBOC to BOE, other central bank to the other banks, other central bank. Figure 26, taken from DNB, visualizes the shape of the global central bank swap network that has emerged out of the 2007-2009 crisis from a system perspective. As the network graphic indicates, the Fed C6 swap network connects the eminent monetary jurisdiction and has the highest potential volume. However, other nodes in the system have emerged as well, most notably China, as the PBOC has built up a substantial network of 31 swap lines, among others to promote RMB internationalization. It visualizes how, in a process driven by public decision, in reaction to the dynamics of a defaulting private credit money system, new arrangements to create offshore public credit money have developed. Okay. Oh. Wait, I need to minimize this one. So I think this is figure 26, the global central bank swap network as October 2015. As we can see, there's a lot of swap lines among China and between China and others. I mean, Indonesia involved, and also we have the swap lines between the US and the other five I think main central banks: Switzerland, UK, ECB, Canada, and Japan.